All right, now the fun part. We're actually going to put our whole tank together. So you have a tank bottom that's been flex sealed, sprayed, and then with the PVC inside, and then the flex seal sealed around. So dried 24 hours after spraying, and then dried 24 hours after flex sealing. So it takes some time. You have the top that's been flex sealed with the check valve and the quick release. We then have the fan that's been extended. We have this little plastic screw, or screw for plastic. It's not a plastic screw, but it's a plastic screw. So screw for plastic. Comes in a big box like that. That's going to hold the fan down. We have our LEDs wired up and tested and working. This is actually the one I just tested, so we'll make sure that one's working. Then we have our heater wires with the quick connect on this end. We don't have quick connects on the bottom ends because otherwise they won't be able to fit through the tank. Screwdriver for the plastic screw. We got flex seal for sealing the top to the bottom. All right, and we are good to go. So first thing we want to do is go with the LED first. So you want to take the LED wires and slide them through the top like so. And you want to make sure the LED is facing towards the center of the tank. So redoing that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work the LED through. Sometimes it can stick. This top was a lot of fun iterating. We had to redesign that many times. And then we have a track along the side that comes out the bottom of the tank. And so, oops, get out of here. So we're going to run the LED ribbon. This is where it can get a little tricky. Okay, actually trimmed off. I had these stripped down, but I trimmed them flat because they're easier to get through the tank without the little metal barbs. Again, when you thread it, make sure that the LED is facing inwards towards the tank. You really don't want to have to do this twice. So, thread that one through. And you can see that. I'll just sort of leave these, let that float for a second. I'll wire these. You have your two heating wires. The quick connect stays at the top because this is where the heating element is connected. Again, I'm going to trim these just because it's easier to get them through without the little metal bit sticking out. Thread it first through the top, and then take the LED out just a little bit. There she is. It's helpful to have some like really narrow pliers or forceps on hand. I typically use forceps just because they can reach down in there and pull it through. And then what I'm doing now is I'm threading the fan through. Things get a little tight in there. You can kind of see the right end. I like for the fan, I try to leave the plastic wrap on it just because that this plastic tube, because that really helps get it through. You can see I'm already kind of pulling the threads out. All right, so there you have it. We've got our LED at the top. We have our LED facing inwards towards the tank. We have our heating elements, top, fan. Okay. Now, we're going to screw the fan together. And how this works, just kind of fold down these guys. You want to make sure that the fan is, there's a couple holes. You want to make sure that the vent for the fan is facing upwards. And the sticker on the fan should face towards the center of the top. You'll see this little hole lines up with that little hole on the top. Like that. Okay. Oops, actually, I'm going to screw it this way. Cool. All right, so fan is screwed. We have all the wires running along the outside. Got the check valve. Oops. Got the check valve in there and the quick release heating wires. LED. Great. So I'll pull these down. Straighten these out and make sure those fan wires can be pulled down a little bit. You can even unclip the fan. There. Okay. And these heating wires, you want them to stick out a little bit. All right, and then let's make sure the LED is properly situated in there. That looks pretty good. The LED should come out quite a bit out the top. Okay, there we have it. And then now we're going to glue this together. All right, now we're going to use our good friend, the Flex Shot, again to seal this top ring and seal that groove. Again, we can use a good chunk of this stuff. Big thing is to not have it drip too much in so it blocks the view. Other thing is we want to make sure that this, the top lip here is flush with the ridge of this, of the tank, or lower, because otherwise when you screw down the head, if it's not flush, the head won't actually sit flush and you'll have a gap. If it does stick up, then maybe the PVC maybe was cut too tall. So best of luck on that. So I am going to use, again, kind of copious amounts of this stuff. I'm going to, although this is broken. All right, so now we're going to use our good friend, the Flex Shot, to seal the top to the tank. So we're going to put some around here. And yeah, the goal is to get this to sit down so that this top part of this top piece is flush with the top of the tank outside, because if that doesn't sit down tightly, you're going to get a gap between the head and the bottom tank, which which we don't want. And that may be caused by your PVC being too cut too high. All right, so, and you can see in here the LED is nicely positioned, so it's going to shine through, and you'll be able to see the level of glycol that you get in there. And so I'm going to fill in kind of where the wires of the hole are, and just give it a good bit of Flex Seal around in there. Okay. And just make sure there's just a good bit on top. All right. And this may be, if it's too much, that may also cause it to not sit flush. So you have to be a little careful. Okay. Wires are looking good. Okay, so you can see it's not seated quite right. We have some paper towel around. This Flex Seal stuff gets everywhere. Okay. And I have this, just a little bit of PVC, so I can set this like that. You don't want to put too much pressure on any of these PVC or any of these printed parts because they can crack and break. And that's my dog. That actually doesn't look too bad. Look at that, it's nice and flush. But will it hold? So we're gonna let this dry for 24 hours. Gotta let that Flex Seal dry. And yeah, hopefully that was enough in there to seal it properly. And the final thing I'm going to do actually is try to seal these wires a little bit. So this hole, you can see some of the flex shot down in there. I'm just going to fill it in from the top as well. All right. So that, my friends, is a tank top. So that is the tank. And this is what has caused us so much pain, so many iterations, so much leakage, so many challenges. Well, so hopefully this works. There we go.